watching Conspiracy Against Wellness live stream. They're trying to bring awareness about patients who are having their millions of patients who are suffering high impact and chronic and intractable pain due to serious diseases, like autoimmune diseases, serious life-altering injuries. Many of us are disabled, and
We signed up somewhere.
our medications just for quality of life and just for to take care of our families. We are here to basically bring awareness to the public. They need to know that we are real people and we are legitimate. Myself, I've had autoimmune disease since I was 5 years old. I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and lots of different therapy and over-the-counter medications. I went on to become a nurse, and that was great. That was my calling. Once I had my 7 back surgeries and was diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis, I had to quit my career and my calling. So you can't hear. Let me see if I can get away from this a little bit. Sorry about that. It's kind of noisy here. We've got a lot of media. Got a lot of media here, and patients, doctors, nurses. So as I was saying, it was sad, and I had to stop working as a registered nurse. And I continue to have my injections. I've got a spinal cord stimulator. Physical therapy, massage. You can relate, I'm sure, all the alternative things we do and we try. But I was eventually put into pain management in 2004, and it changed my life. It helped me to be able to get out and have a life, to enjoy things, to travel, to try to start a family, all those things we all want to do. And when the 2016 guidelines came out, I became one of the ones affected. Our doctors across Oklahoma began reducing our pain medications, and my doctor, at first he was like, "No, you need these. You have plenty of reason for them. I don't see any need. You do not have, any signs of addiction or compliant. I'm not going to reduce you. I don't see it happening." And so I was able to continue, with my multi-modal treatments, and until Oklahoma passed a state bill limiting dosages and creating penalties for doctors, criminal penalties. And my pain medication was cut significantly. At the same time this is happening, I had to move, and to be able to move because my dad became sick with pancreatic cancer, and he
I need to sign in.
there, yeah, thank you. Right over there on the other side. I'm sorry about that. So I moved to a different city and moved my parents um, to help take care of him. My dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he had taken care of my mother for about 10 years. She was in a wheelchair and had, had significant disabilities because of a brain tumor and failed knee replacement. And I'm sorry, this is Carrie Cresco from the Oklahoma Don't Punish Pain Rally. And sorry, it's a little noisy in here. Let me see if I can scoot back and talk louder. So I have had to move in. Me and my husband moved into my parents' house in 2017, and was there to take care of my parents. My dad, like I said, my dad had pancreatic cancer, and he was nearing the end, getting towards the end, and he had taken care of my mother, who was wheelchair bound and was in pain management herself, suffering. And whenever these draconian laws were passed and the limits put on doctors and the threats, I had my pain medication cut, and I was caring for my dad. He was homebound. He was on tube feeding, and being a nurse and a disabled nurse, of course, my whole family depended on me to keep up with everything, doctor's appointments, medications. Sorry, it's getting louder. We're getting a lot of people here. Getting a lot of people here at our rally. We've got local television stations. So, with having my medication cut, I had significant difficulty to continue to take care of my parents. So I had to hire some help. I had to hire help to take care of my dad, which, it's my dad. I want to do this. I could do this if I had the pain medication. And it was very, very sad. It was very hard, knowing that I knew what to do. I had the knowledge. I used to have the ability. Being in the home, I could take breaks and get on my ice pack or, but having to hire help, it's hard to come up with words because my dad was my hero, my biggest support. He unfortunately passed away in November. I had him on hospice, and we had a little difficulty with his medication. The one long-acting pain medication made him confused, and I asked for them to change it to another one, which he was already taking the same kind, which was a short-acting, and they said, no, we don't like to prescribe that. And so, yeah, I was frustrated, but fortunately, he did okay. He did well. We used some natural things. We used cannabis, but it's not a one-size-fits-all, and it's not just one thing or another. We're all individuals, and we need individual treatment. So as it went along, my dad passed away, and he had developed pneumonia. He'll still be here, but the situation was my mom started developing some sort of shortness of breath 5 days after my dad's funeral, and I thought, oh no, does she have pneumonia too? So she's wheelchair bound and she's unable to get in the car with her shortness of breath. I call an ambulance, of course, and take her to the local, a major hospital here in Oklahoma City, and in the ER, they, of course, do an X-ray and check for pneumonia, but they followed up with a CAT scan of her chest, and I'm like, that's not usually what they do for pneumonia. So the doctor comes in the ER a little bit later, and he said, I'm sorry, but your mother has a large mass as big as your fist, and it's already in her lymph nodes. We believe she's got cancer, and it's already spreading.
these handouts?
Yes. So, anyway, my mom has stage 4 cancer, and they found it in her bone, and they want to send her home after a week in the hospital with no pain medication. So that was a problem, of course, and I told him, no, that's not okay because, she's suffering. I don't have an oncologist. I don't have an appointment I can get her to tomorrow. And the doctor finally agrees to give her 5 days of half of the dosage they were giving her for a week in the hospital. So, and she had been in pain management on much more, but she was cut also, not knowing she had end-stage cancer. Talk about, just the outrage, the hurt, the frustration. So I have to send her back to the hospital in a few days because they didn't give her enough pain medicine. I had to call an ambulance because she's suffering. I could not get her an appointment, in just 5 days to go see anyone, which you have to be seen, to get pain medication. And so I sent her back to the hospital. We find out it's in her spine. It's in the meantime, it's just hip, thigh, you name it. And so it's been very hard. I did call her on hospice when she agreed to it, her grieving and my dad, and then you're finding out she's now in her end stage. So, I'm sure you can just imagine. I can't really describe it. The same thing happened with her, unfortunately, with the hospital she was on, the medication that was working just fine. Hi, Chris, you want to sit down and talk? We're live, yeah.
So what are we doing today?
We are live on Conspiracies Against Wellness, which is a YouTube live show.
Okay.
And this is Chris.
Better known as Uncle Grumpy here in Oklahoma.
Here in Oklahoma. He's our small celebrity here. Chris, can you tell us a little bit about your story? What has...
14 years, 7 surgeries, 9,855 pills a year, all prescribed by my doctor. Just about killed me. Put me in the hospital more than one time, only taking what the doctor recommended. I drove off the highway at 70 miles an hour, passed out at 11 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock, after dropping my son off at church camp, and was only stopped by a tree. Had it not been for the tree, I would have gone into Taft Lake, and I'd probably still be at the bottom of the lake right now. And all that was taking what the doctor prescribed. And about 4 years ago, I decided to start using the cannabis to try and offset some of those. I now take less than 2,000 pills a year in conjunction with cannabis.
Right.
I will not be able to get off of all these pain medicines.
Right.
These are a part of my life, and they will be forever.
Right.
I currently need at least 3 more surgeries that they're just waiting on me to schedule. So the reason for the pills is real. So this 1446, what this has done to people like myself is it's eliminated any future. Okay, I spent years trying to control the amount of medication I had to take down to a manageable amount so that I could have a normal life.
Right.
And what this did was, while my life was running just fine, everything working like a well-oiled machine, bam, I get a call from my doctor and my pills are cut in half overnight. And then cut off the minute we passed 788. Which they can't even give me a justification for that. They just did it. They knew it was coming. They knew they'd been okay with it for 4 years. They said, keep doing what you're doing. And then once we made cannabis legal, they dropped it. So, and it's all due to the confusion created by 1446.
Right.
Now, 1446, most people didn't even know about. It was slipped through, I like to say, in the dark of night.
Yes,
It was slipped through when the teachers were in the middle of the rally and everybody was paying attention to that. What shocks me and what most people don't realize is that every person but one of our lawmakers voted for 1446.
I believe it.
So,
I believe it.
and most of them said, well, we just didn't know what it said, but they voted for it. But
Yes.
they didn't know what it said.
Right.
And they're okay with telling me, well, we didn't realize that was in there.
Yes.
Because they never read it.
Yes.
And so here we are suffering. As we were looking at the numbers earlier, about 20% of these opioid deaths that happen every year are suicides.
Exactly.
I've been at that point. I've stuck a gun to my head in that situation.
Yeah.
I've sat up nights after night getting phone calls from people when I post something about this, and people call me ready to kill themselves on a regular basis. And I'm not a psych. I'm not a trained anything.
Right.
So
We're all trying
I
to help
know
each
how
other.
I know how real this is because I live it every day. This has 1436 has to stop.
Yes.
That is one of my number one priorities this year.
Yes.
Is to do whatever I have to do with these lawmakers to get this
Yes.
legislation.
Or something
And we thank you for fighting here in Oklahoma. We have viewers from across the nation that are facing similar issues with state laws, and
That's how I understand it.
we've got what kind of recommendation would you give to these people that are asking, what can I do? What can I do? How can I help make a change?
Well, look, a year and a half ago, I was the guy sitting at home on disability raising my son, couldn't hardly get out of the house, mostly due to my anxiety. And when to save a long story, when I got over that and I got involved here in the Capitol, what I realized is how few voices make a big impact. People don't realize that when I've been standing outside the chamber and had a house member run out and say, do you know any farmers in my district? I need to know how to vote on this bill. He was about to vote on a bill. He didn't know anything about it. So he wanted to ask one farmer in his area so he could say, I did what my constituents wanted. One farmer.
So to me, that seems like we've got to be contacting our representatives.
I think that we don't realize how powerful our voice is.
Yes, we all think that we can't do anything. Picking up the phone, maybe you're bedridden, maybe you're unable. Pick up the phone and keep calling.
When I met her last year here at the Capitol, and she explained to me I could change the world. And I believed her, foolish enough, I believed her. The way she did it was explained to me one time when I said, well, I want to go talk to that guy, but why would he talk to me? She looked at me like I was crazy, and she said, well, he works for you.
Yes.
And that was it. A light bulb went off in my
Yes.
head. And I realized that they were in control, we were in control.
Yes.
And from then on, my entire outlook has changed on this whole issue.
Yeah, I want to encourage everybody.
And again, when Norma and I got involved with this, with what we were doing last year, we asked for everybody to make a phone call to get us a meeting. We got over 600 phone calls and emails to one person in one day.
Wow.
So the doors were open. We got everything we wanted.
Yes.
So people need to realize one voice, 600 voices. You never know what's going to be that deciding number. So
Yeah, don't think
just get involved.
don't think that don't give up if you're writing. Give them a call. Keep calling and having your voice be heard. That's an important. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you a little shot here real quick to turn around and just see, you can see people showing up at the rally and give some people speaking and television stations here. I'm going to just give you a quick shot, turn around, if I can figure this out. No? Is that right? I think that's right. Wait.
Sherry and Carrie, it's got you.
Okay. Oh, it still got me. Okay. Well,
Is it delayed? Is it delayed maybe? Maybe
I
it's
don't know.
delayed.
Oh, here we go. Turn the camera around. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry about that. This is the Oklahoma State Capitol in Oklahoma City. We are having the Don't Punish Pain rally. This part is a nationwide rally to speak up for the rights for patients who are suffering and need access to medications and other treatments that our lawmakers seem to be interfering with and interfering with our doctor-patient relationship. Going to come back here. I've got my friend. I've got my friend here, Jenny. Hello. Jenny's here. I met Jenny through her mother, who is another organizer of the rally. And want to hear your story. Just, you know, tell me what's happening to you and how these laws, these guidelines, and all have affected you and your personal story and your family.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a long story. So it's a long story. So I'll try to put it in a nutshell. I have a genetic condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I also have been in a car accident. I was hit by a guy who ran a red light in 2003, and then in 2012 by a guy who was texting. Slowly over time, my symptoms got worse, and I had to leave my job as a registered nurse. My doctors have been telling me for forever to try the pain medicine, and I was trying everything else. I guess I should say, I literally tried everything else.
Many of
Every
us do.
single option out there because I had heard a lot of horror stories. I believed the myth that if you take pain medication, you become addicted, and just the stigma. I had heard it in the medical field.
Can you speak louder? Yeah.
Okay, is that a little better? I was just saying that I was at the point where I had quit work and because I couldn't function, and I had tried every other option out there, and nothing was. I was at the point of I couldn't work, and both of my children were toddlers at that point, and my doctors were telling me to try pain management, which I didn't want to do because of the stigma, the reputation that I had heard in the medical field. That you'll become addicted if you're taking pain medicine. So anyway, I finally tried it, and it gave me my life. It gave me my life back. Now that it wasn't the only thing. I'm on like multiple. I have different things in my treatment regimen, but those things weren't enough to keep me working and being able to care for my children, insurance, all those things. So anyway, the pain medication, pain management, gave me the ability to go back to my job full time, to return to the gym. Sorry, I'm sitting very close. It's loud in here. Is that any better?
Can I have this? There's just one left.
Yeah, it's just loud, super loud in
Just
here.
one left.
The pain medication gave me the ability to go back to work and go to church and do light exercise and live a normal life. And that was about 5 years worth until the guidelines, CDC guidelines were released, and my doctor gave me the heads up that he had been notified that patients that were on a certain morphine mill equivalent, which I do have a lot of comorbidities with my conditions, so I was required to hire dose to manage my pain. I was one that was going to have to in the future be weaned down to this 90 morphine mill equivalent cutoff. And so slowly over the course of about a year, he tapered me down from I'm not going to say the exact dose that I was on, but
Where's your hometown?
I'm here in
Homestead.
Yes. Yeah, I'm the one that was talking to you about my mom being in
Yeah,
hospice,
right.
having,
Yeah,
there you are. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's system.
and can I get your name also, please?
yeah, Jenny Hart,
Jennyi.
Y. H-A-R-T.
H-A-R-T. And what's your hometown?
More.
More?
Bad connection in here,
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Maybe look at the internet, because it wouldn't let me. I thought I was going to do data.
Okay, sorry.
we can move this. We can't block the main hallways. We can just at least get it inside and still have room for people
Is
to
this
come back and
okay?
forth. We need to come past the
Hello, are we back? We're having technical issues. No, okay. Yeah, let's change places.
Sorry, guys.
Is that legible? Just make sure.
Okay, sorry. We're having technical difficulties.
I'll take this.
I tried to make it quick and loud, as long as I did. So basically, in a nutshell, I was tapered down from a dose that was therapeutic for me, and slowly over time I became more and more. I was already by this point not working because of my conditions, neurological, other things, not the pain. But I became homebound and then eventually bedridden, and have been since my meds were tapered bedridden, with the exception of about 2 to 3 hours outside of bed after the forced taper. And can you guys hear me? If I'm not loud enough, let me know. But bedridden, I had been with the same pain management doctor for 6 years, and there was just his hands were tied. There was nothing he could do, and even my health was declining. My blood pressure, I never had high blood pressure. My blood pressure, I suddenly had hypertension, and not able to have physical activity became risk for blood clots, and it made my conditions worse. Ultimately, weight gain. I gained 80 pounds for lack of activity. And anyway, I have to travel anyway for medical care.
Yeah, you have to go out of state.
Right, because of the rarity of some of my conditions, and so as time has gone on, I've got more answers as far as my conditions and diagnoses and treatment. And this is one of the reasons I'm wearing this collar. It helps, so that is why I'm out and about right now. But I've also found a pain management doctor that he won't put me back at the dose that I was on before. It's still quite low, but he's more specialized in my field or for the condition that I have. So he had different ideas. But I do have to travel out of state to get to him. So,
Which is ridiculous and expensive,
yeah,
I'm
it's
sure.
very expensive, and I mean, my husband has to take off work, or my mom to drive me because I can't drive that far of a distance. So anyway, that's sort of where I'm at. I'm not at the therapeutic dose that I was at before, but at at least a higher dose than what I was able to be prescribed in Oklahoma, which is 90 morphine milliequivalents.
Yeah, that's what everybody's at now.
Where I go now, it's a little bit higher, but I'm still obviously struggling. I put makeup on to hide my to hide how I feel, really, so I don't look like how I feel. But anyway, that's sort of how it's affected me.
Thank you for sharing your story. I know there's so many out there that can relate, and I'm glad to see you actually be able to be here. I know this is your first time to actually get out here.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you. We're going to switch over and have another friend of mine that's a big advocate, Tamara. We're having some technical difficulties, and we're going to have to speak louder. They're telling us. But here's Tamara, and Tamara, tell us a little bit about. First of all, start with your story. How has this affected you? How are you functioning before, and how are you now?
I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. I was doing pretty good up until April. I was on a dose that I had been on for almost a decade. I was helping my husband remodel houses. We had 2 foster children. We had a decent life, and we're remodeling our own house.
You had some quality of life.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I had bad days, good days. I went back and forth, but I still got up and did things when I needed to. It was a good, decent deal. April hit when 1446 here in Oklahoma was passed. It hadn't been enacted yet, but it was passed. all our doctors got scared and started the cuts. I'm right now on half the dose I was on before. And I'm sure if something doesn't clarify, I'm going to keep going down because I'm still over their magic number.
Magic number, yes.
Lovely magic number.
Yes, by the way, with no scientific evidence that there is an equivalent MME or no maximum dosage by the FDA. You know,
Right.
These are FDA approved medications.
We've had other people say that the limits are coming from the FDA, and the best thing we can say to counter that is yes, Tylenol is limited, yes, ibuprofen is limited, but there is no maximum dose of an opioid pain medicine. The only ones limited are the ones that include your Tylenol and your ibuprofen.
Right.
That has created
They create problems, just like the number one cause of acute liver failure in the United States is Tylenol.
The most recent numbers to come out for the 2017, from what I found from the CDC, said that 15,600 people died from actual prescription medicines in the United States, but 16,500 died from NSAIDs.
Yes, from ibuprofen, from Aleve, naproxen, several of those prescription NSAIDs, like were taken off the market for heart attack and stroke, and that is still a risk for ibuprofen and for aspirin, and the bleeding risk. We have fatal bleeding from that. So how is it affecting you now? How's your life changed? And
it has changed drastically. I spend the majority of my time at home, if not in a comfortable place in my bed. My husband is now my caretaker. My two foster children have gone back to their biological mother, ready or not. And my 16-year-old, I've not been able to be to any of her events this school year yet. She's supposed to be driving, but we are her driver's ed teachers. And I haven't had the ability to go spend 2 hours nearly every day or every few days to give her enough hours to get her license yet.
Yeah, so it's affecting your child.
All of them. They're all
children.
They're all suffering from this. Not to mention my husband having to care for me instead of me helping him as a partner, as a equal. It's no longer that. It's him taking care of me.
Yes.
Nobody likes that, especially when all it would require is allowing my doctor to do what he believes is right for me.
Yes.
And then my children don't have to suffer, and I don't have to suffer, and my husband doesn't have to suffer. It seems like such a no-brainer.
It does. The biggest problem, we both agree, I think, is from these regulations, from these laws, is the actual doctor-patient relationship is being critically destroyed. It's being fractured. Doctors and patients are not allowed to decide what's best for them individually. We do have some hope with what's coming from the HHS task force,
Yes.
that is a federal thing, and they actually have the pain doctors, the physical therapists, and the addiction doctors and pharmacists and a patient, a pain patient, is actually on the same team. They're recommending some of their recommendations. Remember, some of them are individualized care.
That's the main one. Even when they recommended all the different things at the end of each recommendation, pretty much said with the doctor being allowed to decide ultimately.
Yes.
That was one of theirs. They want to balance multimodal.
Really balanced payment. Individualized patient care is vital to address the public health pain crisis. We have a public health pain crisis. Suicide crisis. Practices from HHS is drafting on the access to April 1st, there are I'm sure Janelle can share the federal level. The HHS is the Health and Human Services, and they are a department that is over the CDC. They're over the FDA. It's important that we get the word out and have everyone submit their comment. Have your family members, your friends, even if they're not in pain, they see you. Let them talk from your perspective. We have until April 1st, and I'll make sure Janelle gets that gets that shared on how you can comment. It's on a federal document. Yeah, and here's some of Tamara's going to talk more about this.
On the HHS recommendations and gaps, one of the things that they put, and they had this in bold from what it is something they highlight. It says, quote them, the national crisis of illicit drug use with overdose deaths is confused with appropriate therapy for patients.
Yes.
This confusion has created a stigma that contributes to barriers to proper access to care. Even the HHS knows that the whole thing was, they used both numbers, all of the numbers, that none of it had, say none, that very little of it had anything to do with pain patients.
Right, with pain patients. It's been stable, seeing their doctor and stable and having our test, seeing our doctor, having a pain contract that we signed, submitting to urine drug screens, still counts. We need to get the public to be aware that we are out there, and especially like Chris was saying earlier, don't think you don't matter to your representative. Call your state senator, call your member in your state house. They work for you, they work for us, and they're making decisions, and they need to know. They need to know they're making decisions for us, and we must make our voice heard. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy.
Absolutely. I walked up here. I had a meeting with one of my senators and from here in Oklahoma, and I walked in and happened to meet other senators at the coffee maker, at different places in their office, and they welcomed me into a conversation.
Yes, that's encouraging.
So even just showing up at your Capitol and walking into their office, they're there for you. Find out who's on your health committees.
Yes.
Call them, walk into their office and say, can I have a conversation with you, please? It will make a huge impact. We have to get in front of them. They have to see we used to have quality of life, that we do exist, and we need to be heard from, that we deserve a seat at the table because it is our health care they're deciding.
Right.
But we need that we need that voice too.
We need that voice. So we need to encourage everybody. Look at, doing all your opinions on the state representative, who is my state senator. These will be different from your federal senators that represent your whole state in Washington, D.C. You can contact them too. When you call them and you ask to speak to their assistant that handles the health care. But in your state, find who works at your capital, who represents you, and start calling and get to know their names, their assistants. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
They're people too. Senator Langford in Oklahoma, his health assistant knows my name, my email, probably my phone number on his caller ID. They are starting to hear, and they have got to hear more, that we need their help. They have to hear from us.
They do. And the doctors need our help. They are speaking out behind the scenes. I mean, these, especially the Oklahoma law, creates a criminal penalty. They're not just afraid of losing their license, they're afraid of losing their freedom. They're afraid, and they are speaking out. Maybe you don't see it, but there's meetings being held.
Yes.
I I can confirm it, Emma can confirm it.
One of the ones I spoke to here in Oklahoma said was the vice chair for health here in Oklahoma that met me at the coffee maker actually. And he actually said our doctors are standing up, they are talking to them, they are being heard, and that they are planning on making it a priority this year, this legislative session, which ends in May, to clarify and fix the unintended consequences of 1446. So here in Oklahoma, we have hope
Yeah,
right
we have
now.
hope. And so you need to do the same thing. Encourage your doctors if they're not, say, here's your senator, your office is in this area of the state, in this city, and do the work for them, give them the phone number, you just gotta be creative, They're not gonna tell you that actually out there having meetings and stuff. That's a professional thing. Maybe you feel like they're abandoning you, but without our doctors and without standing behind them, we really are kind of left in the cold. So
We have a doctor right now
Yes.
standing up to the podium.
yes, let's see if we can
to the
turn
rally.
on him. This isn't too blurry. Try. It's a little blurry to me. I hope it doesn't to you. There it goes.
And there are days when I go home in tears. When I got to take pain medication, or anxiety medication away from someone who's been stable on this medication for 40+ years, and I'm allowed to
You probably can't hear, but she's talking about going home in tears after seeing her patients, not being able to do what she knows is right to help them. There are doctors, they do care, and just got to do our best to support them. Contact your representatives. Get to know them. Get to know him. Share your story. We're going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. I'm going to sit back down. I'm sorry this is probably making you dizzy. We're here. We're going to be wrapping it up here so we can let, I believe, we have a doctor streaming from Montana next. Thank you for joining us. I hope we've done something to help you and give you some hope, give you some encouragement to speak up and let your voice be heard. We matter, you matter, and